All right. Well, thanks, Andrea. And you could tell, by the way, Andrea and I are working on this, and last 10 minutes trying to get things going. Everything is about teamwork, and as we build teams and we go out and we work with the people on our teams, it's important that you have somebody that you work with all the time, like we do and like I do with other members of the team, because sometimes you're going to have issues like we did tonight. So, Andrea, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Earlier here, about an hour ago, the corporate decided to have a call with all of Australia, and so I wanted to really kind of get a lot of you to jump on that call and listen to the things that are going on down there. The nice thing about Australia is that they've been with the Maoris a lot longer than most of us here in the United States. I know for a fact, like with me, if I had known about Tom's old company, the products he had over there, I'd be very familiar with the Maoris, but I didn't even know who they were until I joined Sizzle. I never knew about his old company. Andrew, did you?
I didn't yet. I've had people who've joined Sizzle with me who were in the old company, and they just rant and rave about the awesome products that they had available in that company. And we're very impressed with the Maoris.
That's right. So Andrea, tonight what I kind of wanted to do is I wanted to go through some of the products and just kind of give a brief overview of the products for people.
Okay.
And so I thought, what we could do, since I don't have very good internet up here, and I'm just doing this over the phone, I can't go online and look at the products even. So I'm just going to kind of go through them by memory. And what you'll have to do is maybe, kind of help me out if I forget some of them, okay?
Okay.
You bet. So, folks, our top selling product, of course, it's the age pill. And the age pill, it's just an amazing product. It's an amazing product. In your body, you have a group of cells that are called stem cells. And what they are is they are the repair guys, repair and replace. And so there's cells sitting around your knee and your ankle and your heart and your digestive system and in the brain. And these cells are just sitting there in the interstitium, sitting there. They're dormant, and they aren't any particular cell in the body until they're called into action. So you can have a stem cell that's sitting around the shoulder, and all of a sudden you need stem cells down in your ankle, and the body will mobilize those stem cells and bring them to the area where they need to be. And once they get to that area, they turn into that cell. So the stem cells can turn into shoulders or knees or ankles or whatever. And what happens when we're young is we have lots of stem cells. That's why a child can hurt themselves, bounce right back, and they can cut themselves. They heal up a lot faster than we do as adults because they have a lot of stem cells. They say that someone under the age of 20 has one stem cell for every 10,000 cells in their body. When you get to be about 50, you have one stem cell for every 500,000 cells in your body. Think about that. So in that 30-year period of time, you went from 1 in 10,000 ratio to 1.5 million ratio. That's a big difference, isn't it, Andrea?
Sure is.
Yeah. And then as you continue to age, when you get into your 80s, so another 30 years later, another 30 years after that, now you have one stem cell for every 2 million cells.
Wow,
and
that's quite the drop.
Yeah, wow, right? And that's why you'll see older people, they just can't recover from things quite as quickly. Well, science has found that you can activate the stem cells. You can make it so that you have more stem cells, but not only that, you can have more active stem cells. And how you support that system is with nutrition that's basically based around vitamin B3, niacin. And so you'll hear things like nicotinamide riboside. You'll hear about nicotinaminic acid. You'll hear about nicotinamide mononucleotide, nicotinamide dinucleotide, and a lot of other variants of that. And what they are is they are variants of vitamin B3, niacin. And they found that this niacin and these variants, they activate and they get your body, they support the system to make new stem cells. And so the Age Pill is based on that science. And Tom has done a lot of research on it. He's added different things like an amino acid called tryptophan. He uses an activated form of tryptophan. It's not just tryptophan, it's 5-hydroxytryptophan. And, you know, I can bore you to death with all the science on it. But what I'm just going to say is that, you know, when Tom puts his mind to making a product, he doesn't just make another product. He makes the very best product. He makes a product that is going to be one that's going to be more active, and it's going to do more for you, you know. And so that's really what the Age Pill does. Andre, would you want to just, you know, add a couple of maybe stories you've heard, people that you've heard of that are using the Age Pill and had fantastic results?
Oh, sure. We have Margaret out in Oregon who had previously in life had 2 back surgeries and had continuing pain in her back even after surgery. And she happened to have x-rays showing that she had arthritis all up and down her spine. She visited us on a call about 4 months after starting the Age Pill and said she'd recently gone back in for another x-ray of her back, and her x-ray showed she had no arthritis up and down her spine. In fact, the doctor was so impressed, he called her and said, "What did you say you were taking?" Because she had kind of mentioned that she was taking a new supplement. And so that was quite a surprise that it took care of all the arthritis in her body. You know, and we have people in all levels of fibromyalgia which the Age Pill seems to support that, probably by removing toxins in their body. All different levels of people, and some say, you know, in 2 weeks' time, all of their pain disappeared. Others say in 2 months' time, you know, so it just depends on, you know, what status your body is in and what other healthy things you're doing to support overcoming that. But the Age Pill is great for a multitude of degeneration and things like that.
You bet. Well, you know, and I like how you said that, Andrea. You said it depends on what other types of support you're doing. And so let's get into that a little bit. When we're talking about that, the first thing that comes to my mind is Fucoid. Fucoid, up until the Age Pill, had been our number one selling product. It was this product that Sizzle had as far as being recognized around the world as a product that really gets some things done. And it's all based on an extract from brown seaweed called Lima-Marie or Fucoid. There's a lot of different names for it, but this extract, what it does is it lowers inflammation and it helps to support a healthy immune system. One of the things that it does when you're talking about stem cells and how it works alongside of the Age Pill is that there's a study that came up last year. Now, this is not our product, so we can't say here's a study on our product. But what we can say is there was a study on Fucoid, on the brown seaweed extract that we used, and it said that it works with the stem cells by mobilizing them. So again, if you've got a problem with your ankle, how do you get the stem cells to go down there? Well, you mobilize them. It's like mobilizing your arm. You say, hey, there's something going on down here. Let's get down there and repair that. And when you look at fucoid molecule, that's what it does. That's how it works. So it actually works alongside of the H pill rather nicely with that. And the other thing is, like I said, it gets rid of inflammation. And if you don't get rid of the inflammation, guess what your stem cells are going to do first? Before they start doing any repair, they're going to get rid of inflammation. So why not get rid of the inflammation with fucoidin and then go after the repair with the H pill? Doesn't that make sense, Andrea?
It sure does. I love fucoidin.
Yeah, I do too. And for anybody that hasn't used it, wouldn't you say it'd be a great product to add to their repertoire?
Oh, it would be a top product for sure.
That's right. And so then let's move on and we'll talk about another product called Eternity. And what Eternity is, it's a high potency resveratrol product. And for those of you that don't know about resveratrol, the studies on resveratrol got the Nobel Prize back in the 1980s. And it was such a significant impact that Time magazine had a cover in short bottles of red wine, and they said, based on the new studies on resveratrol, the red wine market is going to just skyrocket. And so you had a lot of people in the stock market saying, this is a great product. This is something that you need to invest in. And then another group of scientists tried to recreate the work that had won the Nobel Prize. They came back and they said, oh, no, it doesn't work. We can't recreate it. Well, it turns out that you have to process the resveratrol molecule properly, and then you can't let it oxidize. You can't let it get exposed to air, because what it does, it destroys the property of the resveratrol. And when Tom designed Eternity, he knew that. He knew that science. And he took the resveratrol molecule and put it into a liquid, but not just a liquid. It's actually the resveratrol molecule is protected. It's got like its own built-in bubble surrounding it, so that the resveratrol molecule is partially protected against the oxidation. But at the same time, what Tom did is he figured out how to reverse fill the bottle, the empty bottle. It's filled with nitrogen. And then as you fill the bottle with the Eternity product, it forces the nitrogen out, and then you cap it before the product ever gets a chance to be exposed to oxygen. And so now you have a product that doesn't oxidize, and it'll hold its potency for years, because that's what we need to as a certified good manufacturing practice formulating company, is we have to follow those guidelines. And the results are that we have a resveratrol product that can actually recreate the same science that got the Nobel Prize back in the 1980s. Isn't that amazing?
It is. And I love that Tom goes the extra mile to create or invent what he needs to make the products as effective as possible.
That's right. And then, the next product that I really want to talk about is it's called Spectramax, and it's part of our Triangle of Life products. And what Spectramax is, it's a high potency mineral product, and you'll hear people talking about trace minerals. And I try and simplify it, and I just say, like, when you hear trace, it means that you don't need very much. And so trace minerals are something that your body needs to go through all the different biological processes. And essential means that you have to have it. Your body can't make it, so it has to come from the outside. And when I've used vitamins in the past in my clinic and for my own personal life, I never saw any type of a vitamin mineral product that had the high potency minerals that we do with Spectramax. But on top of that, we've added something to it called fulvic acid. And what fulvic acid does is it's a chelator, which means that it's going to grab the minerals and it's going to pull them into the cells but at the same time, it's going to pull the toxins out. And so it helps your body so that you can actually absorb and use these minerals, these 74 trace minerals. And then Tom's added 40 antioxidants. And Andrea, I'll let you add, your knowledge, because you explain it so well on why we need all the antioxidants, why we can't just get by with throwing in one or two.
Well, right. I got my knowledge from listening to Tom's videos, but basically he stated that, for instance, vitamin C is antioxidant, and you can take in lots of vitamin C, but vitamin C only has an effect on certain free radicals in the body, and it only breaks them down so far. And there are about 39 levels of breaking down free radicals. So when you break one free radical down, it actually could turn into 2 different free radicals, and you would need another antioxidant to break that bond apart, and then it could break into 3 or 4 or all the way up to 39. So Tom explained that he designed SpectrumX to have the ability to break down free radicals, all 39 levels, to take it down to 0.
That's right. So what you're doing is you're reducing the free radical, you're making it weaker and weaker and weaker. Every time you reduce it, like Andrea was just saying, so if you reduce it 40 times, you can imagine that you've made that free radical pretty darn weak, and so it can't have any effect on your body. So that's what SpectrumX does, and so you can see that these 3 products combined with the age pill are just truly amazing. It makes it work better. So like Andrea was saying earlier, support the rest of the system to make it work. Now, as we're talking about SpectrumX, we brought up the word fulvic acid. And if you've been on any of the Sizzle Doctor Clinics calls that Andrea and I have been doing, you'll, over the last couple of months, you've heard us bring up this word called fulvic acid. And what fulvic acid is, it's a miracle molecule is what the scientists call it. And it was created when seaweed, over the last millions of years, when seaweed has decomposed. And it's what makes soil really rich and black, and makes it so that you get healthy crops, and great soil develops great crops. But what they also found is that fulvic acid and humic acid, this breakdown of the seaweed for millions of years, what it does is it creates an environment in your digestive system so that your body can break down foods, and it protects you by creating this semi-permeable membrane, so the good stuff gets in, the bad stuff can get out, and it helps to create this barrier. But it also helps by creating an environment where healthy bacteria can grow. And so obviously the next product that we want to talk about is the Balanced D, because the Balanced D is a probiotic, it's a prebiotic, and what that means is that a probiotic is something, it's a nutritional product that delivers the healthy bacteria. And now you can create an environment where healthy bacteria are going to grow. You add the bacteria, so now you can have that excellent culture that's growing in there. And what prebiotics are, the prebiotic is the food for the healthy bacteria. So really simply, that's what it has in it. It does have some vitamin D as well. Not enough where I'll say that's all the vitamin D you need, but it gives it enough that there is some in there to help support the system and makes it so that it works better. There's some fiber in there to give you the fiber. You know, they're saying that as a man, they're saying that I should be getting 30 grams of fiber today. And Andrea, I know you've heard this. You've heard me talk about it, but you've also read it in Science, that, the average man is only getting about 12 to 13 grams a day of fiber.
I know. I think you're the only man I know that keeps track of his fiber content.
I actually started keeping track of it, and I know that it helps me. I feel better when I make sure I get plenty of fiber, and it just makes the system work better. So Andrea, I thought, would you want to talk a little bit about sizzling?
I'm going to leave that one up to you, Doc.
You're going to leave that one up to me. And the reason I kind of bounce over to sizzling right from the balanced tea is because we're talking about fiber. And what sizzling is, it's a protein drink, and it's got 12 grams of protein. And I know, like my boys, I've got 3 boys who like to work out and build muscle, and they tell me that they say, Dad, they say you don't have enough protein in there. And the reason that I believe that we do have enough protein is because we use a type of protein that can actually be used in your body. Most protein shakes, if you actually know how they make it, they make it so that it's denatured. And what that means is that they've heated the protein enough that they've changed the structure of the protein. And when you change the structure of the protein, the body doesn't know what to do with it. And with our protein, it's undenatured, which means that the body knows how to use it to build muscle, to build lean muscle mass, and it's a delicious shake. Do you like the taste of it?
I do, and I add the chocolate to my Sizzle coffee to make kind of a chocolatey coffee.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea as well. But yeah, if you mix it up, and for those of you that haven't tried it, I really feel that it has a great chocolate taste. I know in the beginning when I first joined Sizzle, we didn't have a chocolate shake. We only had vanilla. And Tom said he wouldn't come out with a chocolate until he could get the science down to where he could have one that tasted good.
Right.
Because taste really is king. If you're making a chocolate protein shake and it tastes horrible like most of them on the market, nobody's going to drink them, right?
Right. Who would drink it?
That's right. And so this one is an easy one to drink. And again, there's a lot of big words when you hear about how they make it. But if you just use the words that undenatured, which means that it hasn't changed the shape of the protein. So obviously the next thing I'm going to jump into is ripped, kind of because it kind of falls into the same category. It uses branched chain amino acids, and the science behind it is there's a doctor who was trying to find a product that would help the body build lean muscle. And primarily from the studies that I've read, they were looking for something that would work with senior citizens, because the problem is that as you get older, you tend to lose muscle mass. And with this product, they found that the science behind it can help those senior citizens build their muscle mass back. So then they started looking at the science and saying, well, what if we applied it to people, that maybe they don't need to build muscle mass, but maybe they just want to stay lean. They want to have lean muscle. And they found that it worked with that. Then they found that it worked with people like, these young guys like my kids who want to go to the gym and work out and build bulky muscles. It works with that as well. So all around, it's a great product for building muscle. And I think it has a great taste. It's a fruit punch taste, and the product actually works. If you look at some of the testimonials, it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and the other thing that we've discussed this past year is that when you maintain muscle on your body, it helps generate more brain cells. I believe that was what the information was. It helps maintain your brain cells.
That's right, because they found that when you're losing muscle mass, your body thinks that you're dying. So then your body says, well, we don't need any of the brain tissue either. So then the brain starts to generate at the same time.
Right.
So, and so folks, you can see all these products tend to work together. And so as we bring them on and we start talking about them, and as you find yourself getting into the company, you start, building your business, you start getting paid. What do most people do? They go buy more products. And because you want, not because you have to, but you buy it because you see the advantage of being on the products. You see the advantage of using the products. And so recently, just here in the last eight or so months, we came out with a product called Super H2 Sticks. And Andrea, do you want to talk a little bit about the benefits of hydrogen?
Oh, I love H2 sticks. Yeah, I was shared, some information was shared to me about using hydrogen water before, and I didn't really do any research on it or anything. And then when they came out with the H2 sticks, I went to Google and I just started putting in benefits of hydrogen water, and up popped 27 different research proven things in the body, and those are just the things they've researched, that extra hydrogen in the body will do for your body. It's a total system boost, a total system repair. So there's just a ton of things that it does. And a lot of healthy people just drink water anyway. That's all they drink. If you ask them, they'll say, oh, I just drink water. Because they've learned to cut out the soft drinks, and, they're not indulging in alcohol, and they cut out sugar. So that doesn't leave you a lot to drink, right? Other than, our sizzling and our sizzle ripped and our fire and iced tea and our Cincha tea and, all the things we have, which are non-toxic and great. But if you're going to drink water anyway, why not dump a tiny little packet of minerals in 1 cup of water a day and drink that down and super hydrate your body with hydrogen and create a lot of repair in your body?
You bet. Well, Andrea, one of the things that I was just going to add, a lot of people, they'll ask me, well, why is it necessary that we have to take in this hydrogen? Why is it all of a sudden that hydrogen is something that they're discovering is so healthy for you? And the answer to that is that let's look at where hydrogen comes from. And in your body, when you get fiber, and you heard me talking that most of us don't get enough fiber in our diet, when your body breaks down and metabolizes the fiber, it gives off hydrogen. And so if you're eating a lot of fiber, if you keep your fiber intake up, what's going to happen is that your body's going to generate hydrogen. But what we're doing here is we're giving you a way of making the hydrogen just by adding it to your water.
Right, and we already know that people don't take in enough fiber to have that successful system happening in their body.
That's right. That's right. And so, folks, you can tell, again, the products are all designed to sort of work together and make a healthier system. We've got another product, it's called Energy, and we've got one for him and we've got one for her. And Energy for her is designed around something called Equal. And what Equal is, it's a natural molecule that some groups of women, their body actually makes it, but most women do not. And what it does, it protects the body from allowing cancer cells to attach to the breast tissue. And so we can't say it prevents breast cancer, but I mean, you can make a pretty good deduction that if it prevents the cancer cell from attaching to the breast tissue, if it can't attach to the cell, then doesn't it make sense that it's going to help with that disease? And again, I can't say that. I just have to let you kind of draw your own conclusion based on what I just said. And then the male version, the Energy for him, is designed around doing the same thing for the prostate tissue. And so it balances out hormones in the body, balances the female hormones, balances the male hormones, and helps to protect you, because in today's world, in our toxic world, we're exposed to so many of these endocrine disruptors. And what that means is that there's things out there in our environment that what it'll do is it'll actually mess up your hormones. And so wouldn't it be nice to have a product that's going to help prevent that from happening? And that's what the Energy does. So, as we've gone through that, then let's take a look at another product that works kind of along with the hormones. It's called Supra Mega Plus. And the reason I say that it works with the hormones is because your body makes hormones out of fats. So you have to have fats, and it just makes sense that if you're going to make your body have something, wouldn't you like to make it out of healthy fat versus unhealthy fat? And so that's what the Super Omega Plus does, is it gives you the healthy fats. So when your body starts making hormones, it's going to make a healthy version of the hormone. But also, the omegas, what they do is they get rid of inflammation. They help to make healthy brain connections. And then we've added something called CoQ10. That's the plus part, Super Omega Plus. And what the plus part does, the CoQ10, it's an enzyme that's specific to the cardiovascular system. So it helps to protect your heart from damage, and you combine that with fish oil. And what fish oils do, the EPA, DHA, is that it gets rid of inflammation. And when your heart's basically on fire from inflammation, you're going to want to put that out, and that's what the fish oils do for the cardiovascular system, combined with the CoQ10, and you've got just a great one-two punch in that area working for you. And I know Andrea mentioned the Fire and Ice Tea. The Fire and Ice Tea, again, it's got some great vitamins and nutrition. It's an energy tea. So you drink it, it's got a great mango flavor, and it helps you develop more energy so you keep going. You can exercise, which is great for the heart. Helps to keep you so you're a little bit more lean. And so another great product that's added to kind of our repertoire. And then, as we move on and start talking about some of the other products, we have a product called Avenger. And what Avenger is a product that was designed to help boost the immune system, to help fight off kind of some of these, I'm going to call them like superbug diseases, right? And we look at Lyme disease. When you hear people getting Lyme, I mean, up there in Michigan where you are, Andrea, Lyme disease is probably pretty crazy up there, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of people with Lyme disease that suffer with that greatly.
Right. And so they're really, over the years, there's different things, medicines and nutritional stuff that supports keep people healthy when they have Lyme disease, but there really isn't something that worked very well. And so with the Avenger, Tom was working with a group of people from the East Coast in Michigan and that whole area, from you live, Andrea, to the east, and trying to help come up with something that would work with it. And the first difficulty was that the Lyme, the actual bacterium that causes Lyme, it has the ability to hide. It can camouflage itself so that your immune system can't see it. And so Tom's added an ingredient to the Avenger that kind of uncloaks it. It takes the camouflage off the bacterium, so now your immune system can go in there and do what it's supposed to do, and it can help to melt this cloaking off called biofilm. And then with Tom's added some ancient Chinese medicines and some ancient Native American medicines, or not medicine, but nutritional ingredients that will help to boost the immune system so that it'll fight stuff off. And I just take it, I don't have Lyme disease, but I just take it every day because I find that it helps keep my immune system stronger. Do you take that product, Andrea?
I do, yes. And I'm glad you brought up the term biofilm, because there may be people out there who are seeing a wound specialist or dealing with some type of bacteria or virus in their body that actually has a biofilm on it, and their body can't recognize it to destroy it.
That's right.
So if they're hearing that terminology coming from medical staff or anything like that, really, this is the only thing I know on the market, because we had a young woman this past winter who had been fighting internal infection for 3 years and going to a wound specialist for over a year. And when I first contacted her about what was going on with her, she says, "Oh, it's a biofilm bacteria." And my doctor says, "There's no way to get rid of it." And we had her recuperating in 2 months' time after 3 years of battle.
Isn't that amazing?
It was totally amazing. I was so happy about it.
Yeah, I remember when she gave her testimonial. It was just a great, awesome story to hear. You know, and that's the thing, folks, is that, you know, when you're talking about products, I mean, I can sit here and tell you about the science. I can bore you to death with all of that. But where the tires hit the road is when you start hearing the stories of people responding.
Right.
And that's what we see here with this. You know, Andrea, the influence, it works with the immune system as well. And I think, you know, when we're talking about the immune system, we gotta throw influence in there. And what that product is, it's a product that's designed during the cold and flu season to actually make your immune system work better, so you fight off some of these bugs, these viruses, these bacteria that are going around during that part of the year, during that cold and flu season. So it works really well with that. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think, you know, any products that I've missed? Oh, the Brain Vitality.
Oh, Brain Vitality is a very important product.
It really is. You know, they found that most of us are deficient on magnesium, and magnesium is it's a necessary mineral for the brain, for brain health. And so we've added a type of magnesium called magnesium threonate. And what they discovered about magnesium threonate is that it passes through the blood-brain barrier really easily. So it can pass back and forth into the brain and get that magnesium there. And then we've added different types of nutrients to make it so that we can have super nutrients for the brain. So think of having to go out there and figure out, you know, how do you feed the brain cells specifically, and that's what Tom's done with the Brain Vitality. Is he's added that. Then he's added something called that's called curcumin, and the type of curcumin that we use, it's a special kind of curcumin that will actually go in and help get rid of inflammation in the cells. And a lot of the chronic degenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and dementia, and that a lot of it starts with inflammation. And so by adding the curcumin to the product, it actually makes it so that we can help lower that inflammation right away. So, you know, Andrea, is there any products that I missed?
Well, we probably have about 20 more products, Doc, but we don't have time to cover them all tonight. You did a great job covering, you know, some of our top products. I just wanted to mention about the Brain Vitality. There's a well-known integrative doctor who put out a series last year called The Damaged Brain. And they're using supplements to support the brain. And then there's a doctor out in Oregon called Dr. Amen, who has an Amen clinic, and he has been doing brain scans for years, like 83,000 brain scans or whatever. And they also supplement for the brain. So what we have with Brain Vitality is a formulation of these brain supportive substances that are natural, all in one product.
There you go. That's exactly it. That's what I really like about Tom. I know when I first joined Sizzle, you know, I was so used to using, you know, a dabble of this and a little bit of that. And what I would do with my patients is that, you know, if you're my patient advocate, I'd say, here's a bottle of this, you need this. Here's a bottle of this, you need this. Here's how much you take of this. And I'd have to basically take in a lot of different products, a lot of ingredients. And when I first got started with Sizzle, what I really enjoyed about it is Tom is a formulator. And for those of you who don't understand that, he takes all of these ingredients and he puts them together. He mixes them together. So if you want to have something that's going to be that's going to support a healthy heart, why not put it all into one product? Why not develop one product with all of the ingredients rather than me have to say, here, Andrea, take this and this and this? I can say, here, take the Super Omega Plus, and it's got what you need in it. If you're worried about brain health, I can say, here, take the Brain Vitality. You don't have to go buy phosphatidylserine, and you don't have to go buy curcumin, and you don't have to go and buy, the different ingredients. You can take it all in one product.
Exactly.
So, Andrea, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'm going to let you close the call up for tonight. And folks, thanks for being with us. And for those of you that are listening to the recording, the big thing is let's get people to understand that you can't just take one thing and expect to have total health. It's a mixture. We live in a toxic, low nutrition world, and we have to do our very best to repair those systems that support them. So, Andrea, over to you.
Right. Well, thank you, Doc. And if you're going to take anything, why not take the best, right? So thanks,
Right.
Doc, even though you're out there in Montana on a trip, and we had to do a little bit of technical dancing here tonight. We got this call recorded, and you've put out a lot of great information as pretty much an introduction to some Sizzle products. And anyone can join us on the Doctor's Clinic, Doc Friends with Friends page on Facebook every Tuesday at noon. And if you can't make it at Tuesday at noon because of work or other commitments, our lives are still stored in that page, and you can go back and review them anytime you want to. So thanks for joining us tonight. Peace out. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye.